One of these days we'll get it at the same time.
I think I'm just behind all the time. So
I mean, it's fine. It happens. But hello, designers, and welcome to the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. You can always come to us first to quench your thirst. And welcome to the cup refilled, where the reality of the past becomes the tea of today. That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that in the slightest. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay, we are drinking coffee because I'm back on a coffee kick. I'm like, coffee was lovely. So it's some salted caramel coffee in my beautiful San Diego Zoo mug. Lovely. I needed a big mug today.
Lovely.
And I can do a whole pot of coffee in just 2 mugs, which is kind of dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And hello, I am Lana, your resident diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea purr. And I'm just drinking generic water. Sponsored by Lucy LaDuca Let Loose, period.
I was not ready.
I know. And
she wasn't ready. There we go. Better.
And you will be happy to know that Lucy LaDuca has made a crossover into our wrestling podcast today.
Yeah!
So she let loose a little bit today, too.
Oh, I love it.
So
Lucy LaDuca has just permeated every inch of this podcast. Lucy LaDuca and Tamara Double Chocolate are like the 2 cornerstones of this podcast, honestly. And I'm here for it. So
But
I'm also here. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
If I wanted to drink some tea, I would probably drink it out of my cup mug. Period. No need to get it
there in the kitchen.
No need to get it. It's here. We know you have it because all the cool kids do. And if you want one, you know what to do. The link is below. LanaGsCreations.etsy.com, where you can get all of your cup merch and socks and hats and cups and things. Period.
Yes. Well, welcome back to Make It Work Monday. We are here. We are still talking about Project Runway Season 1, Episodes 5 and 6. So we're mid-season. It's dwindling down for the search for the next big fashion designer. And we are talking about 2 wild episodes of the show. Oh,
this is where it got wild. This is where it gets wild, for real.
They really, this week, in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Designers were, models were, everyone was. Tim Gunn was.
Yeah. Tim Gunn was like, you know what? I don't even know.
Tim Gunn was unhinged in his beautiful Argyle sweater in episode 5. And I was like, worked him. Work. So
it was good. So we're back on the runway because we have to pick our models, first and foremost. After we let go of Vanessa. Bye, Vanessa.
And I love we are 30 seconds into the episode and we already hear Austin saying, well, what Wendy said last week was bullshit. And I'm like, and then Wendy's like, I'm tired of Austin's victiming. And I'm like, and then it's not brought up at all in these 2 episodes.
Not again.
Wendy Pepper is not a star of either of these episodes. And you know what? It's fine. She needed a break.
I'm happy with
that. Austin really wasn't either.
Look,
a little bit more in episode 6, but
yeah, I'm happy. Look, I was not and am not the biggest Wendy Pepper fan. Everybody likes Wendy Pepper's so iconic. Wendy Pepper's
the real icon of Project Runway Season 1 is Coruscant, and I think we can all agree on that statement.
And this episode will tell us why.
Yes, so we go to model pick.
But this time it's a little different They usually tell us the challenge first and then we pick the model.
Yeah.
Well, this time we didn't do that. We pick the model first and then we'll tell you the challenge.
Yeah.
So they pick their models.
I have the model picks here because I wrote them
Period.
down. So Kevin won the last challenge, so he gets to pick his model first. He picks Olga. And then we have Carson picking Jenny. Robert picks Martinique. The correct choice.
As he should.
The correct choice. Jay picks Morgan, which will turn out to be an absolute disaster of a choice for him. We'll talk about it. Austin picks Julia. Wendy picks Joy, and then Alexandra picks Aaron. And so we have Nora with the final choice between Audrey and Melissa. Nora does end up picking Melissa, meaning that Audrey is out. And Nora will rue the day she picked Melissa over Audrey. Not a smart pick from Miss Nora whatsoever. Because we then find out that the challenge for the week is the model client challenge, and the designers have to design their model's dream wedding dress. How do we feel about the model client challenge as a whole, as a concept, Lana?
I kind of like the model client challenge because I feel like every designer who can, who has the stuff can guide a client, and because clients come in with ideas of what they think they want and what's going to look great, and you're going to get those models or those clients who are going to come in and say, I have everything I want. You need to come in this fabric with this thing and this dress and this, make it this way. I want it to fit here and over here and down here, and I want this long thing and this trend, because we want everything. And then it's the designer's job to say, that doesn't work, this works, we can make this and da-da-da. So I love the whole theme and the challenge of a model client because it has to put these designers through the paces, and they need to step up and do their job.
I will say on a whole, in future seasons, I love the model client challenge. In this season, I hated it. Because I felt like, because obviously there's no precedent on Project Runway yet for the model client challenge. And I think this season's model client challenge really sets a good precedent for kind of how the models should be treating the designers. Because a lot of them were real bitches.
Yes.
Just not even a bitch, just rude. I agree with you.
Rude.
Like, just very
Disrespectful.
rude, disrespectful, entitled.
Yes.
And I found that a lot of that came from the models that were not over the age of 18, honestly.
Because they are brats, and that's
because they are brats and they are children. Another reason why I never loved, having children on America's Next Top Model, because they were always entitled and childish. And I really I never really enjoyed it all that much. So I love the model client challenge, just not this season. I felt like it was too much. And like the big things that we see with this challenge, we see Morgan just kind of like, Jay is going through the ringer with Morgan. Kevin is going through the ringer with Olga, and Nora is going through the ringer with Melissa.
You know what bothered me more? Them bringing in their boyfriends.
Why the fuck?
Why are you bringing in? First of all, this is your job. Why are you bringing in your boyfriends to your job? Number two, you're not getting married. This is a challenge. This is TV. Your boyfriends does not need to be at the fitting of your dress for a work-related thing. Because let's be real, if you were really getting married, your boyfriend would be nowhere near your dress, because your fiance would not be near you. You don't take your fiance to the dress fitting or when you're going to find dresses. So why are we doing that? Like, those little girls were the strangest people to me this entire episode. I was like, we're bringing our boyfriends to a work-related challenge. And I'm like, if I was the agencies that represented these girls, they would have gotten a stern talking to and a warning that if you bring your boyfriend to a job, you will not have a job here at this because you are professionals. And that was so
Exactly.
unprofessional. And Olga's boyfriend coming in there changing the design and moving. Get your hands off my stuff. If I was Kevin, I would have pushed him completely out of the way. Like, I don't know who you are, but do not touch my workstation. You
Exactly.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was like, this is the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen in my life of design of models bringing their boyfriends to a work related thing. This is work. Yeah. I don't care what the challenge is, and you might be in charge of the challenge, but this is still work. I was so annoyed by that.
I couldn't agree with you more. Like, it's just this season is kind of just the wild season because, again, like I said earlier, there's no precedent for how this is supposed to work, and so that's why I love going back and rewatching this season. And like a lot of the early seasons are like that too. But I think before Bravo stepped in, it was kind of just like,
right. We'll try it.
Who knows what we're doing? Who cares? Because the first couple seasons, who aired them?
It was on Lifetime.
It was Lifetime.
It was on Lifetime.
Oh.
Yes.
Or no, it was Bravo. No, it was on Bravo.
The first,
I believe so.
No, the first few years was on Lifetime.
No, it's Bravo.
I didn't have
I'm
Bravo.
on the wiki page right now. It's Bravo.
I don't think it was Bravo. I remember it being on Lifetime.
Because there's a Lifetime switch at some point, but
I don't think Bravo was around when the first seasons of.
That's what the Project wiki says.
The wiki's wrong. It was Lifetime.
Was the first season of Project Runway, Bravo's reality competition show for fashion designers.
It was Lifetime. I'm 100% sure it was Lifetime.
I mean, that's just not what it's saying here. I believe what you're saying. It's not what it.
Somebody else.
If Bravo one of its most successful series since Queer Eye.
But season 1.
That's what it's saying. I'm on the Project Runway season 1 Wikipedia. That's just what I'm showing.
If somebody knows, I mean, I understand what the wiki is saying. I don't personally think that it was Bravo. I think it was Lifetime. Yeah. But if somebody knows for sure, put it in the comments below. Appreciate that.
Yes. So the kind of rest of the episode is a little. I want to talk about Tim because there's two Tim moments in this episode specifically that I love. And the first is before the models come in, when we're in the workroom in Parsons, and he goes, "Now I know what these models are about to do and come in and say, but if you are not feeling confident in this design as a designer, don't do it." And I'm like,
Period.
So Heidi and Tim did not corroborate on what this challenge was, apparently. None of the judges corroborated on what this challenge was supposed to be, let's just be honest. But, and then, on the second day, he goes up to Jay, as Jay is working on the look for Morgan, and Tim literally goes, "Well, I mean, Morgan's kind of been labeled as a kook." I'm like, Tim Gunn! Tim Gunn!
She is a kook.
I mean, he's not wrong, but also, like, I was gagged that he said that.
Same.
But again, it's season 1 Tim Gunn. I'm so used to, refined and, like, keeping his opinions to himself for the most part, Tim Gunn. But I'm like, or at least personal opinions. But
yes.
The rest of the episode is kind of just revolving around Robert. And so everybody goes out drinking. They all decided they all wanted to go out together. And we find out that Robert is incredibly sexually frustrated and has this like cute little flirting relationship with Alexandra. Which then leads to them both getting drunker. Robert after they leave the club, decides, oh, I'm just going to like do some pull-ups on this scaffolding, and drops and busts open his head.
Boys, try to impress the girls. They do the craziest things. You boys are something else. I tell you, a cute girl bats her eyes a little bit and says a little flirty with
I
you.
would never.
I mean, I would never be talking to you at this point when I'm talking about flirting with the girls.
Exactly.
But
Plot
the
twist,
boy.
Plot twist. I've been lying to you this whole time. No,
please. The boys, though, the boys who know, the boys who do, and they are just so predictable. Like, he was just such a boy's boy. Like, I'm gonna get on this scaffolding and show out how strong I am, and da 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 da.
No.
Then I'm gonna show you how athletic I am, and flip around, and
literally, I'm like,
why?
For some reason, I remembered this, like, taking him out of the competition, and it doesn't. But, like, for some reason, I remembered there being a DQ on this season, and then I was like, oh, this is it. And then I was like, oh, no, it's not. Okay.
All I know is he was more concerned with not shaving his head than getting his head taken care of at the hospital, because they did take him to the emergency room because the back of his head was busted open. But they just had to put in 2 staples and he was okay. He didn't have to shave his head. Everything was all right.
All was good in the world.
All was good.
And it was all good.
And then Jay made a song about it in the car and embarrassed Alexandria, which was great.
I love it. I
loved it.
The other Robert moment that really, where's my fan? Because we're skip forward to runway day, and they're getting ready in the morning, and there's just a solid like 10-second shot of Robert in the bathroom in nothing but briefs, and I was just like, oh no. No. The thirst was real. That's all I have to say. Like,
for you, it was for me.
Absolutely, because add like 20 pounds and that's my type. So I was like, I'm not mad at what we are looking at here today. What I was mad at, Lana, is we're getting ready for the runway and Olga will not stop complaining.
Okay. I'm going to play
differing thoughts about Olga.
I am going to give both sides of this opinion for me.
Me too.
Because I think Olga was very difficult and very complaining. And it sucks that you have to say, girl, you a model, suck it up. But girl, you a model, suck it up, do your job. But on the flip side, Kevin was dead wrong for not putting the lining in that dress. Why would you not put a lining in a dress where you're putting beads and things stuck in the material is itchy, and she has to stand there and smile and walk and do a group, like make it sell the garment, and you can't even make it comfortable for her. And it was itching to the point where she was crying. So that just lets me know, because who wants to sit there and itch? I don't like it when I itch. If I'm itching a lot, I'm like, it hurts. I'm tired. Nobody wants to itch constantly. And to have a garment stuck on your body, your bare skin, itching you constant, it's making me itch right now. I'm thinking about it. I'm itching. It's horrible. And I, for one, felt horrible for Olga that she had to deal with that. But karma is kind of a crazy thing when you do crazy things by bringing your boyfriend.
Lana doesn't want to say it. I will. A bitch.
Yeah, when you bring your boyfriend into the workroom and he starts acting real foolish and changing stuff around, and you're being very difficult about a modeling challenge. This is not your real wedding dress. It's not your real wedding dress, and that's the problem.
The points you made were the exact points I was gonna make. I think, again, it also comes down to production not really establishing exactly what this challenge was. And we'll talk about it when it comes down to who got eliminated, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't agree with who got eliminated personally. but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But they were eliminated for doing what their model wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also like, but you have to keep yourself in it. But that wasn't established from the start of the challenge when Heidi Klum established the challenge. That was just something that Tim Gunn said in the runway. So it's like, is it official? Is it not official? That's why I hated this challenge in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
In future seasons, they establish it a lot better. But in this season, they just didn't. So let's talk about the looks.
Let's talk about them.
Boom. I'm going to make us bigger. Oh, that is not the tea.
That's not cute.
That's better.
That's better. I would say that's not working.
No. So this is Wendy.
Yeah. You can't see it in the picture, but it's red at the top.
Yeah.
And, you know, the red, it's a
red corset, like asymmetrical corset situation happening in the back.
In the back. Yeah. It's not a bad dress. It's not a bad dress from Wendy Pepper. It's a nice dress. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a nice dress. That's it.
I liked it a lot, actually. I was a little surprised that there weren't 3 people in the top for this challenge. And I was kind of surprised that Wendy Pepper was not in the top. I will say it. I think it was innovative. I think it's what her model wanted. Because Joy was she had Joy, right? Yeah. Joy was very specific about what she wanted. And Wendy did exactly that. But it still looks like something that Wendy Pepper would make.
Right.
And so for me, this was one of my favorite looks of the challenge.
It was a good look. It wasn't my favorite look. I mean, I think definitely top 3. I do think
definitely top 3. This might have been my second.
I think it was my 3 or 4. I think 3 or 4 because I think we'll talk about the look I like, but I think in that realm I like.
I'll give the garment an 85.
I will give it an 80 because I do like it.
Nora.
This dress. Go ahead. This dress was perfectly fine. This dress was what she wanted. This dress was everything. I mean, you can look at her face, even in this picture. She was very happy to wear this dress. She loved this dress. This is what she wanted. I also understand that this is also a dress that she could have found at David's Bridal. Like, it's just...
Not with the level of detailing, but yes, I do agree with you.
I mean, all it is, they could have found that dress at David's Bridal and said, okay, now put a layer of tulle over it and add flowers to it, and then put a layer of tulle over it. It's still the silhouette is the same. She could have found this dress at David Bridal's and then added the details. So I understand what they were saying about this dress. It's a beautiful, it's a nice dress. Like, any bride who wants that type of dress would love to wear. I think the flower detail is cute. I think the color turned out better than what she expected it, which
I agree.
It's much better in that purplish tone than it would have been in a red rose tone. So I think that made it better. The mistake actually made the dress better, but I don't think it was anything spectacular, but I don't think it was anything worth sending somebody home for.
She should, point blank, I don't think she should have gone home for this garment.
Yeah.
That's just me. I think it was a perfectly good one. I still see Nora in it because there are the finishes that make it a very Nora garment. It doesn't make sense to me that she was eliminated for this garment. It doesn't for me. But I do still think it's serviceable. I'm going to give it a 70.
Yeah, I would give it a 75 because I think it's a pretty safe dress. It's a beautiful dress for a wedding. If I was getting married, I would look at it and be like, oh, let me try that on.
I would love this gown. For me, I would want this gown in lavender with purple roses, like a deep purple. That's what I would want.
I would want this gown at the top be a deep purple, and it's like goes down into it ombres into a lighter purple at the bottom.
Yes.
Like, yep.
Oh, and then white roses at the bottom, maybe.
Yep. And purple and white roses in my hair. Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Three roses: purple, lavender, and white.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We need to collectively learn how to sew and go on Project Runway. But we have to be a duo.
We have to be a duo because I can't think of all this stuff by myself. Absolutely
Duo
not.
season. Duo season.
Period.
Me and you. No.
Period.
This is Rob.
I did not hate this dress. I like this dress.
It's, maybe Rob should have been in the top 2.
I think so.
I don't know. This is exactly what Martinique wanted, too. Like, this is exactly what she wanted. She loved it, and I love it.
I mean, I said 3 or, like I said, Wendy was probably my 3rd or 4th. I feel like this dress is my 2nd favorite. Wendy's dress could have been my 3rd, or Alexandra's dress could have been my 3rd or 4th. Like, I like these dresses, and I thought Rob did what needed to be done here, and I like this dress.
I think the reason maybe why it wasn't in the top is because it is a more simplistic design, but I do think it was very, very well executed, and it's exactly what the model wanted. And at the end of the day, I do think she looks. I mean, Martinique is
always gorgeous.
We have just gone on and on about Martinique, but like she can model anything. I hope she has had a very long and successful modeling career. I really do hope. I haven't looked into it yet, but I really do hope she has had a very successful modeling career. So,
because she's beautiful. She's a beauty. But that
beautiful.
This dress just looks amazing on her skin. It looks like the finishes that they did with her hair and makeup. She just looks like a stunning, stunning bride. And if she walked down the aisle at any wedding that I went to, I would be like, "You go, girl!" In that dress, I'd be like, "That's beautiful."
You better work, Martinique.
Right, work.
Beautiful. And you better work, Robert. This is
Robert,
an 85.
That was beautiful. It was an 85 for me too. It's beautiful.
Yeah. This is Kevin's.
And you know what? I didn't hate Kevin's. I just was like,
no.
I didn't hate it. It looks like a beautiful silhouette for a wedding dress. I just felt like it's wrinkled to all. Yeah, that's the
I don't know whether that's Kevin not steaming it or Olga being a little bit of a diva.
Probably sitting down in it.
Probably a little bit of both.
Right.
Because when Olga was in the studio with all of them, she was like, I just want diamonds everywhere. And I'm like, diamonds are not realistic with a $350 budget and 2 days to work on this. Like, that's just not realistic. I think Kevin did the best that he could with his aesthetic and her idea.
Yep.
It's not my favorite garment by any means of the imagination, but I do think it's absolutely serviceable.
Agreed. I would give it a 70.
It's going to be a 65.
Mm-hmm.
Karasan.
This dress was beautiful. This was my favorite dress. This was.
You better work.
This is my first full of the night because this dress is beautiful. It fit. It looked amazing. The plunging neckline in the front, the plunging like in the back. It walked beautiful.
And I think what won it for Karasan too is when during critiques, they all go down the runway and Heidi asks each model if she's happy with it. Spoiler, they're all happy with it, which I don't really understand, but like whatever. Given one specific look, we'll talk about it. But Jenny was like, I'm not an emotional person, but when I put this on and started walking down the runway, I almost cried. And I think that's what won it for Karasan over Jay, which we'll talk about.
Right.
No, full, boom, period. You better work, Karasan.
Yeah, boom, done, full.
You better work. Oh, Austin Scarlett. This is a hot boo-boo disaster.
Oof.
This is what Julia wanted. But this is a hot disaster. No. No. That train. No. And I love Austin. I love Austin dearly. He's one of my favorite people to ever be on Project Runway. This was a mess.
I don't have any
I have mine, don't you worry.
But I have this because, I'm borrowing this from Eve Chopiana Chop.
No.
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 No. No. Absolutely. No.
It's time. We're doing a double fan situation and some chopsticks. No. I love Austin dearly. And Austin Scarlett, if you see this, I want you to know that I love you dearly. I'm pleading. I cannot score this.
Me too. Horrible. Can't. But I love Austin Scarlett. But this look.
Oof. I do not blame Austin for this look. I blame Julia.
I blame Julia because this is what she asked for, which
bad.
Something's wrong with her.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Next.
Moving along.
To Alexandra.
I like this dress. I don't know what nobody else thinks. I did like it. I like the different in the ruffles. It's not like a typical wedding dress. It was
sure.
I felt like this was a wedding dress for somebody who was like very like bohemian chic type
totally
bride, and like I liked it. I liked how it looked. I did.
I think this is a really well-constructed garment. It's what Erin wanted, and Erin was happy from what we saw. Mm-hmm. I think the difficulty for me is that the sleeve, and specifically the length of the sleeve, just it veers ever so slightly into mother of the bride.
Yes.
And that's the issue that I have personally with it. If it had just been a thick strap into this like ruffled, tiered situation, I would have been like clack, 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 boom, done, period. Yeah. This is the winner.
Yeah.
It's just that sleeve and the way that it's draped, it veered a little, and the ruffling on the side, on the like hem of the sleeve, it just veered a little too mother of the bride for me. I'm still going to give Alexandra a 70 because I think this is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, I liked it, but I agree with you about the sleeve. Yeah. Yeah. I think yeah. I just don't know what else to say, but yeah.
70.
70. Yeah.
This is Jay, our last one. This is Jay's. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I wish he could walk in it.
That's the big issue with the garment.
And the fact that Jay said he wanted to bring it up, she was like, no, I don't want to see my shoes.
That's the reason Jay didn't win.
Yeah, because she couldn't walk in it.
She couldn't walk, and Jenny was emotional over the gown that Carson made. That's ultimately what it was. But
yeah,
I don't think this is bad. I would not have put Jay in the top personally.
No, I think Robert should have been in his place.
I think Robert should have been in his place too. I think honestly it should have been a top 3 for me, and it should have been Carson, Robert, and Wendy Pepper.
I can agree with that. I could be down for that.
Yeah. I don't think this is a badly constructed garment by any means of the imagination, though, from Jay. I'm going to give it a 70.
I'm going to give it a 65 because it just, you got to be able to walk in it.
Yeah. So we get our results. We find out has immunity from the prior episode, so he is automatically safe. I think he would have been safe regardless.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then Wendy, Alexandra, and Robert were all also safe, meaning that our top 2 were Carson and Jay, and our bottom 2, Austin and Nora. I agreed with the bottom 2.
Me too.
There's no one else that really could have gone to the bottom.
No.
Our winner, 2-time challenge winner now, Carson. Agreed.
Deserved.
Absolutely.
Deserved.
Period.
Nothing else to say.
This is a Carson Stan podcast. Sorry about it.
Not sorry.
Not
really sorry. Mm-mm.
And out of our bottom 2 of Austin and Nora, we do say goodbye to Nora, which
almost don't agree with.
I don't agree with it. I
I
think
kind
Austin
of
had
feel
the
like
worst
Austin should have won. Yeah,
comment.
I think Austin's gown was the weakest, and I felt like it should have been Austin. But I feel like also production has what they wanted to get done, and Austin is
Nora
someone
was
they want.
already on a downward trajectory. Her
Mm-hmm.
kind of storyline was over.
Yep.
Austin still has a storyline with Wendy,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yep.
which does continue through the rest of the season.
Well,
So,
we had to build a story up, so unfortunately,
yeah.
it was
So
Nora.
unfortunately, Nora is gone, and the other designers are gagged. So we're moving to episode 6. The other designers are gagged that Nora's gone,
Yeah.
and I love that Karasan in confessional is like, now that Nora's gone, everyone is kind of looking at it, and it's like, oh, this is attainable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could actually like win.
Right.
And I'm like, it's interesting to hear her say that, because I never got the impression specifically that Nora was this like big threat to everybody.
Right. It never. They didn't show it in the edit that she was a force. Like she
No.
was good, but never like, oh, she's a force to
She didn't win any challenges. Like, it wasn't ever like anything like that. So I was a little gagged to hear that. But I'm also gagged because we got our challenge. And our challenge for this week is making a splash.
Making a splash.
So the designers have 5 hours to make a swimsuit that is elegant enough to impress at a fashion industry party. And we come to find out later on that they are going to a party hosted by Elle Magazine, and they have the additional challenge of getting the attention of Richard Johnson, who is the editor-in-chief of page 6 of the New York Post. Gag.
I mean, good. Okay. We'll talk. Go ahead.
Speak on it. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, I think the challenge is interesting, and the fact that they make these swimsuits, and it was great. I have more issues with the party than I do with the swimsuits and with the thing, but yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So we get our model pick. Also, we must discuss our model pick. So models were chosen. Our bottom 2 models are Julia and Joy, who had both been pretty consistently picked like middle of the pack, like not the best model, but not the worst model by any means of the imagination.
Right.
And we get Jay getting our last pick. Jay picks Julia, meaning that Joy is out.
I personally would have picked Joy.
I would have too.
Joy looked so pretty on that runway, standing there in there, and with her little glasses on. Her hair was like gorgeous that day. I was like, I would have picked Joy, but that's just me.
I also would have picked Joy, but we're not the designers.
We're not.
This is also, I believe, definitively the first trip to Mood. They had not gone to Mood yet.
No, they've gone to Mood, but it wasn't as highlighted as Mood. Like they were like, we're going to Mood and other stores. But this was the first time it was
we are only going to Mood.
Only going to Mood.
Mood becomes a staple.
I love that.
I have Mood tattooed on my arm.
And I mean, Mood and then Swatch the dog, period.
Did you hear that Swatch
passed
recently?
I did. And I was like,
it was like a couple years ago.
Like, not Swatch.
Not Swatch. We love you, Swatch, wherever you are.
Rest in peace, Swatch.
Yes. So the only real thing of note before the cocktail party is that Jay is having a panic attack. None of the machines are working. He is yelling at every single machine possible. And yeah, that's pretty much all we get time for. Tim comes in and everyone is just like, we don't have time, Tim. We're sewing. Don't talk to me, Tim. I'm sewing.
Right.
But
leave me alone. Okay.
You have problems with the party. I want to speak on it, please.
Okay. So we get to the party. Everybody's made their outfits. They made their swimsuits. because really that's all it is. It's really only have 5 hours to make their swimsuits. And the swimsuits are made, the models are fitted, they go to L'Oreal because they're going to this party by Elle.
Mm-hmm.
This is where my issues lie with this party, because this party is an industry party,
Mm-hmm.
and some of these models are not 21 as of yet. Some of them are as young as 16. And we're flaunting them around in a club in swimsuits in front of these men, trying to get one man's particular attention. And it was very creepy. Because after they introduced themselves to Richard, which I'm like, okay, yes, this is business. Introduce yourself to this man, talk to him, get him to get his attention. But then after that, it turned into something else, where not only Austin, but Robert was sending the models over as to go over there, talk to him, go sit there and talk to him. And they're like, it's like they're pimping these girls out to these men, to this man, for a mention in an article on page 6. Now I get it. Being mentioned in page 6 is a big deal if you're an up and coming designer and an up and coming model. Great. But it was like they were literally pimping these girls. And Melissa, who is 16, was being pimped the most, and she was just there, and even he made a comment. I shouldn't be looking at her ass right now. No, you shouldn't, because she's 16, sir. It was so creepy, but it's like, you think back to when the time was, and this was before the Me Too. This is before
any of that, really,
anything,
at all.
And women were calling these men out for being creeps, because that was very creepy to me. I was very creeped out by watching that. I was like, stop, please stop, make it stop as soon as possible. It was creeping me out, because if I was watching that and Melissa was my 16-year-old daughter out in New York City at night in a barely there bathing suit, flashing around, dancing and shaking her ass in front of a very grown man, and his big age is talking about, I shouldn't be looking at her ass. No, you should not. I would have went in there and snatched her out of there and smacked the hell out of him. I'm sorry. Oh, that just pissed me off all over again.
I do not blame you at all.
Ugh, those girls.
Yeah, because most of the designers were. The one that wasn't was the first person to just go up and talk to this man, which was Jenny in Karasan's outfit.
Yep.
And Jenny's just like, Kara's just like, oh yeah, Jenny just walked right up to him. And I'm like, I would love to have that confidence, honestly. But she was like, you should meet my designer. And that was kind of the only one that I was like, okay, this is like fine. Because Wendy's doing it. It all seemed lovely. Kara was like, I'm going to go talk to him, but I'm not going to I'm not going to take too much of his time. I'm just going to talk for a little bit and then make my way around. And then all the other stuff happened. So,
all right.
Moving on from that, we go to the next morning. And we find out that Morgan spent all night partying in her swimsuit, because she apparently did not have time to go home, and ripped Kevin's garment.
And then had the nerve to try to be like, just let me go. Just let me go. Like, I'd rather be eliminated. You should be eliminated.
You should.
Because you're a hot train wreck of a mess.
Spoiler, she does get eliminated in the next episode.
I know.
Thank God.
The
Morgan Chronicles, Jesus Christ. But, yeah. And then we're at the runway. Let's talk about the runway. Because that's really all we have left to talk about. So, first up, we have Austin. I love this.
I do too.
It's perfect. I love the color. I love the fabric. I love the stole. I love the hair. I love the way it's fringed. It's cut so perfectly for her body, but yet it's still so elegant.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I do too.
Austin just absolutely slayed this challenge.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I enjoyed that look.
90.
Yeah, 92. Because there was something about it.
Totally. This is Jay.
No, this is Kevin.
No, this is Kevin. Jay had Morgan in the last episode we talked about. This is Kevin.
Yes. And you know what? This is the thing. I didn't hate this look because it was a fully functioning swimsuit, which is what they asked for, but he made it look like it was a suit she can wear out. She could easily climb into the water in that entire outfit and it'll still be a swimsuit. It will be just like it's a functioning swimsuit. But the fact that they couldn't see that it's a skirt and a top would be considered a swimsuit, I felt that they just lost that on them. But I'm like, no, this is a fully functioning swimsuit. She could actually walk into the water right now and be okay. Still be covered, still be protected. Mm-hmm. But I didn't hate this.
There were worse garments.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I didn't hate this. I probably would give this an 85. No, 82. 82, because I didn't hate it.
I'm gonna give it a 75.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way Morgan modeled it also was very, very. Morgan is a good model.
Despite
all of the craziness and bullshit, quite frankly, I think she's a great model. So
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. This is Robert.
I didn't like this.
I don't understand why he was in the top.
I don't get it. I don't hate. No, I don't like it.
It's not bad, but like that cover up is just a piece of fabric wrapped around her body.
Yeah.
I love the way it looks though, but it is just a piece of fabric wrapped around her waist.
Mm-hmm.
I like the trimming that's happening in the straps and then around the bodice as well. I think that's a really nice detail.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's just a one-piece bathing suit. And I do love that Robert was like, I wanted to make something to where the size 2 to 4 girls could wear it and the size 12 to 14 girls could wear it. And I was like, yes, thank you. Because that's before any of that was widely disseminated in the fashion industry, period. So I did really, really appreciate that. However, it's just not the best garment of the evening.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a 70.
I would give it a 60. Because I don't really like it that much.
This is Wendy Pepper. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's offensive by any means of the imagination. I kind of feel very similarly to Wendy's look as I did to Kevin's. Because if I'm being really honest here, there was only one garment that was just not great. And we'll talk about it shortly. But I really like this. It's cute. Again, hello. Martinique looks beautiful. And I think a lot of it might honestly be the way Martinique modeled it. But I do love that it's got like the side up. We've got like the ruching in the bottom. The fabric is so cool. It's incredibly basic and simple, but I think it's very well effective for this challenge.
Yes, I agree. I don't hate this look. I feel like it's beautiful. The colors are beautiful. It pops on her skin. She looks beautiful modeling it. It's not. Is it a swimsuit? I don't know. It looks more of a dress than a swimsuit. She had no swimsuit bottoms because Wendy does not know how to make swimsuit bottoms. Even though she could have just made a panty, it didn't have to be the thong that she was going for. It could have been a full coverage panty, bikini bottom, and that still would have been thing. Because then the cover up could come off, and it can show that it's a swimsuit. But
you know what I would love? Make the bikini bottom have where the ruching and where it ties up on the side have it up around like the breast area. So when you have like the full swimsuit, you have this like diagonal, you pull up the skirt or the dress itself, and it becomes this like this diagonal with the bikini bottom. But then when you're going out at night, you just like release a little thing and the skirt comes down, and then it's a cute little moment.
Right.
That would have been cute.
That'd been cute. It would have been cute.
And this is like halfway there.
Yeah, it's not finished, but
no.
yeah.
But it's not bad by any means.
It's not bad. No. But for me, since it's not finished and it's still not, I have to give it a 50 because it still needs to be finished halfway there. It's halfway there. So that's 50 for me.
I'll give it a 55. It's a little bit above for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give it a 55. This is Karasan.
I love this. I don't care what nobody
Why was she not in the top?
I don't even know.
I know she had an automatic in because she
won.
Right,
but she should have won again. She should have won again.
I disagree.
I mean, she should have been in the top again.
She absolutely should have been in the top 3, but this is so gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
She made the cover up. She made the bikini. The way it's accessorized is so good. The flower detailing, it's all just so good.
It's very good.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. 95 for me because it's so good.
It's going to be a 90.
I love it. It's nothing wrong with it, honestly. Just so good.
Oh, Alexandra.
Yeah, this was not her best day.
I'm so sad because I like her, but this is not good.
No.
She barely made anything.
And it didn't even fit properly.
And it didn't even fit properly.
It's just
her Puswacha was almost out on the runway.
Yep, all the way. And
she had to pull it up.
And like this girl does not tan the insides of her cheeks because she don't expect her cheeks to be out like that. So put them cheeks away. Stop making that girl expose herself. It was just not good.
I'm really, really sad to do this. It's sad chopsticks for me.
Not sad chopsticks.
No.
It was not good.
I'm mad about it.
It was not good.
I'm gonna give it a 20 because I think it covers about 20% of her body. Where's the lie?
There's none. I would give it. It's not worse than Austin's dress, but from the last episode for me to please. So I think it covered 15% of her body. I don't even think it covered 20. I did. So
period.
15 for me. I mean, Great. The top and the bottom just ain't fitting that girl. I'm so sorry.
No. And last up is Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's not my favorite, but I like it.
I did too. I liked it. I thought it. I liked it. I thought it got a good fit. It's definitely a different type of swimsuit. It's
very Jay.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. The straps were just so perfect. I love the diagonal strap too. Like it all just comes together so perfectly.
Yeah,
it's a 90.
Yeah, 90. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
she looked good too.
She did look good. So we got our tops and our bottoms. Karasan has an automatic in, so she is safe. Meaning that our top 3 were Jay, Austin, and Robert.
I don't know why
based
Robert
on
is
critique,
there.
I would have put Karasan.
Period.
And our bottom 3 is Alexandra, Kevin, and Wendy.
Fair.
So they don't actually announce the winner of this challenge. They announce that Jay and Austin are the top 2, and one of them won. However, we know who wins, so
we don't know until afterwards because
they don't reveal it until episode.
They don't reveal it until after the show, but yeah, we can reveal it because the winner of this
Austin
deserved.
Very, very.
But then I'm kind of creeped out because I feel like why Austin won. But it was a beautiful runway, so yeah.
Yeah. And so our bottom two ends up being Kevin and Alexandra. Wendy Pepper is called low safe. Low in, if you will. And
unfortunately, yeah, that's a tier. I like her.
I have to say, what Heidi said in that 80-yard line to Alexandra was shady as fuck.
What she said?
So she's like, Alexandra, you're out. And then it's a zoom in on Alexandra's face, and she goes, you need to figure out who you are as a designer. You can't just keep copying other people's ideas. I'm like, where?
Right.
Show us where she's been copying people's ideas. I'm like, I didn't get that at all from any of Alexandra's work.
No, I didn't think it was a copycat. I didn't agree with that either. I was like, no, I don't think so. But go off, Heidi. You know?
But what do you think about Alexandra?
Which I will say, Alexandra looked like Britney Spears in this episode to me.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, she looked just like Britney Spears, especially on her goodbye out the door. I was like, oh, she looked like Britney Spears.
I will say the other thing that was interesting about these two episodes specifically is there's a lot of Heidi 80-yard lines. Like when she's giving the challenge, I think for this episode, her all we see is her back and then the models, and it's a full 80-yard. You have to design a swim, and I'm like,
and the first episode too, it was the same thing.
Yeah,
it was all of her back and her outfit for the first episode, hideous, gross.
Her outfit on the runway for the second episode, hideous,
gross. I'm like, no. They had to come a long way, but all right.
But we love you, Heidi. We love you.
We do. But first season was just rough for you.
First season was rough for everybody. So that's that.
That's that.
Boom. Period. Well, thank you so much for joining us on The Cup TV. We are here talking all things reality TV over here. So make sure to check out our Make It Work Mondays, our Outwit Wednesdays for Survivor Heroes versus Villains, and our Famous Family Fridays talking about Claim to Fame. I forgot the name of the show for a second. And our monthly wrestling recap.
SmackDown Saturdays.
Oh, that is what we decided. I thought it was SmackDown Saturday. That is correct. So make sure to check out all of our content here. If you like drag content, make sure to check out our main channel, The Cup Pod. We're doing all of our Drag Race coverage over there. But make sure to subscribe here because this channel is brand new. So all of the support is greatly appreciated. Do the YouTube things because you're on YouTube. You know how to do them. So do them. Get your merch, link below. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The Cup Pod. Follow Lana and I because we're great. We're great. And cheers.
Cheers, guys. Cheers. Bye.
In the fashion industry, one day you're in, and the next day you're out. And we are out. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.